friends, and welcome back to Budget Girl. Today I am answering some of your personal questions about my life, motivation, YouTube, dogs, relationship, etc. Let's get into it. Don't forget to subscribe. So if you've ever wondered how I juggle a full-time job, rentals, relationship, dogs, volunteering, creative projects, etc., let's get into it. First question is, how's Rory? How's Vincent, Beth? Have I been to any yard sales recently? First, Rory is almost 16 years old and she's doing pretty good for her age. It's pretty impressive for a large dog, and I almost entirely credit Jacob's cooking, so Rory gets a lot of leftovers, with her surviving this long. She sleeps 20 plus hours a day, but she loves sunbathing. She's gone a little deaf, a little bit blind, and the back legs aren't working as well as they used to, so we're not climbing any mountains anymore, but she is living a good senior dog life. The vet doesn't think she's in pain, by the way. Vince and Beth are doing good. We did a family vacation with Jacob down to New Orleans in October of last year. Overall, it was fun. We did go on a steamboat that was kind of a miserable experience, but they're doing fine. I will tell them you said hi. As for yard sales, yes, absolutely. Every month without fail. Thrift stores too. I'm very picky about what I bring home, but the joy is in the hunt, not in the actual purchasing. Gathering. Most of our thrift stores are really pet friendly, so I like to bring Stella and Rosie, which is really great training for Rosie, and the girls really enjoy it and people get to pet dogs in the thrift store. Next question, how expensive was the therapy dog certification? So Stella is a therapy dog with a local organization called Aggieland Pets with a Purpose. Jacob and I are both very involved. He's actually the treasurer, and we've been doing it for a few years now, and we absolutely love it. We also bring her to campus events all the time, especially during finals when the students are really stressed and need the emotional support. Jacob also brings Stella to the local hospital a lot, which is really nice. The cost for her being a therapy dog is super manageable. It's about $40 a year for our organization, and you're expected to volunteer at least a minimum of about 10 hours a year between the meetings and actual service hours. You train your own dog, and then they go through a temperament test to make sure that they're a good fit for the work. The test includes things like obedience, how the handler and the dog interact with each other, loud noises, other animals, crowds, etc. Once that's passed, you do a series of supervised visits with your animal to make sure that you're really suited and can handle yourself and the dog in those situations. We actually have another certification test coming up soon, and Stella, who is somewhere, there she is going to be the test certification dog. So she'll be the dog that these dogs coming in trying to become therapy dog certified will interact with to make sure that they aren't aggressive towards other animals. She's a real pro at this point, and people around town know her pretty well. To train her, I did 2 basic training seminars at PetSmart. They were about $100 each, and I would have done that anyway, regardless of whether she was going to become a therapy dog or not. I think training your dogs and working with them is really important. Rosie, who is our younger pup, who's around here somewhere, there's Mags. Oh, there she is. You can't see her, she's in the chair. Mags, Stella, Rosie. Rory's over there. Rosie, who is our baby, she's 9 months old right now, is in a different training class. I actually have it this evening, and it was about $200 for the basic obedience, but the lady who trained Stella at PetSmart retired, and they don't offer it at the close PetSmart to us now. So we went with a different org. Now, not every dog is cut out for this type of work. Maggie, for instance, doesn't like people other than me, Jacob, and the ladies at daycare. So she sits it out. She doesn't go in public. She doesn't like it. She growls at people. Rory used to be a therapy dog back when I lived in Mississippi, and she was much younger. We went to nursing homes, and that was a different organization, but now she's so old that she's not suited for it anymore either. She doesn't enjoy strange people, crowds, really going places at this point, so she sits it out. We are hoping that Rosie will be able to pass to become a therapy dog when she gets old enough, and the organizational limit for our org is they have to be at least a year old. And just to clarify, therapy dogs are not service animals. We don't have access to anywhere like a service animal that's trained to perform a service for their human would do. Therapy dogs are meant to provide comfort to other people, so we only go places that we are welcome. Stella and Rosie both thrive on attention and cuddles, and they really enjoy meeting new people and getting that. So we get a lot of joy out of doing this type of volunteering, and we'll keep doing it as long as they continue enjoying it. Next, do I have a goal of when to retire, whether it be an age or a number? So not really. I've never actually done the calculations of, I need this much to survive on this much, because I actually think that that marker is always moving in today's economy. I could do a calculation today that would then be moot in a year because of rapid inflation and just the way the world is. There's not a specific number or age that I'm trying to race towards. There's also a subsect of the personal finance community that calls themselves FIRE, or financial independence, retire early, that's never been super attractive to me. I'm not judging. I think it's great. They are usually laser focused on hitting that FIRE number and then retiring and not having to work again. Or there's like slow FIRE, fast FIRE, etc. But I want to live my life now too. For me, the goal isn't super early retirement. It's to have the option to stop working if something happens, or if I want to and my opinion changes, or if I need to. Right now, I would love to at least $1 million invested plus my rental income. I invest about 30% of my income right now, which is a hugely privileged place to be. I took all of the money from my most recent job move raise, and I'm putting that into investing because I don't need it to live off of. Eventually, those investments are going to start paying dividends, and that compound interest will start going faster and faster, and that wealth will start kind of popping off in growth. But overall, the plan is just to have a future where I have choices so that money isn't the limiting factor for how I live my life. Next, I have low self-esteem, partially due to my weight. Any tips? So first, I see you, I hear you, I have been you, and you are valid. Nothing that you say or do or think or present yourself is going to stop you from being perceived a certain way in our world. And as someone who has always been a bigger person, I have walked out into the world with confidence and had it smack me down hard. I've struggled with my weight, my body image, and how people treat me because of my size. And I will never listen to someone that says it's all about confidence. You know, people will treat you how you act like you deserve to be treated. That's true to a point, but people will absolutely treat you differently if you are in a larger body, regardless of who is inside that body. Also, shout out to team. My mom put me on Weight Watchers before I hit puberty. Trauma club over here. So like whole life been dealing with this. So yes, the long-term goal is a healthy body that carries me through and doesn't have major issues, but I had to teach myself that I am worthy of love and respect and kindness from myself and from others, regardless of the weight on the scale. Not when I lose weight, not when I have like a before and after. And I've been very intentional about never putting anything about my personal health or my body on the internet, because it is not a nice place to be. And even someone with rock hard confidence can be shaken by the types of messaging that people will throw at you out there. I appreciate my body for what it does and everything that it's done for me, and not just what it looks like. I refuse to put my life, my style, or how I conduct myself on hold for a future when I might fit more into what culture considers attractive or some magic number on the scale. I deserve to take up space, and hiding or pretending that shrinking away hasn't helped ever. So why would I keep doing that? Honestly, my body is the least interesting thing about me. Have you met me? I am awesome. I am smart. I am kind. I try to put more into the world than I take out of it. This is just packaging. The packaging doesn't matter. So I dress the way I want. I move through the world in the way I want, trying to be kind to everyone. And when people try to judge me or push me down based off of my weight, my appearance, I just decide that doesn't matter so much to me. That feels like a you problem. I don't know if that helps at all, but those are the messages that I reinforce inside my brain, and it makes the world a little nicer to live in. Next, what is my day job? I work in higher education communications. I am the Assistant Director of Marketing and Communications at Texas A&M for the Office of the Provost, which is like the Vice President of the university. My background is in journalism, so when I started this channel, I was a beat journalist in Louisiana, actually, and I moved on to be the editor-in-chief of a newspaper in Arkansas. And then I kind of saw the writing on the wall that I was not going to make enough money to really live off of, much less thrive in journalism. And it's sad because I wanted to go into journalism. I had a passion for it. And what I do now is similar. I kind of consider it advocacy journalism. So I'm still writing truthful, impactful stories just on behalf of an organization. And it is a place that I believe in. And the stories that I get to tell are really exciting, especially for the future. The people at Texas A&M are doing really cool things. So these days I lead a team of writers and designers, and I get to come up with cool creative projects and messaging, sometimes internal, sometimes external. I enjoy it a lot. It also pays so much better than newspapers ever did or ever would. The benefits are really solid. There's been a very clear promotional path upwards. I've been promoted 4 or 5 times since I came to Texas A&M 8 years ago, and there's still like room for me to grow, which is very exciting. Next, what are my career aspirations with my day job? What does that salary look like? So like I said, I'm very happy where I'm at, and I just moved into this new position with the provost office. I was at the College of Architecture for the 8 years prior to that. So I'm pretty happy where I am for the next couple of years, but of course I am open to upward growth. I do want to focus on this role for kind of the foreseeable future, and I make $87,000, which is great. I would love to eventually hit that 100K mark at A&M. I think that would be really cool and kind of unfathomable from a previous perspective of me when I was making $20-something thousand a year in newspapers, to make 100K for my day job, still doing kind of journalistic things. So that would be cool, kind of working towards that milestone. But of course that covers all of my expenses, gives me some room to invest a good portion of my income, live off of course. Hopefully I'll be able to get another property in the next couple of years and extend those other streams of income that I find so important. But at this point, it's kind of a balance of time and doing things that are worth my energy, because I only have so many hours in the day. I am not trying to burn out more often than necessary. Next, where do I find all the energy to do the things that I do? What do I tell myself when I lack motivation or question my decisions? Really good question. And I would really love to tell you that I've got like this 10-point super system where, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I schedule myself and I really follow my schedule. But frankly, it's just when I have bursts of energy that I get stuff done. When I get inspired, I go hard on a project, and then once it's done, it's kind of dead to me. That's where Duplex Diary video series is, by the way, right now. I went really hard for 7 months restoring this place. Then I lost some footage at the beginning, and I never want to look at that footage to organize it and build those videos. And I will eventually, but it's still in dead to me land. Now, when I was in debt, I kind of got myself into some bad habits. I was hustling like 24/7. Every single moment of the day was, how do I make more money? How do I pay off the debt faster? And it got me there really quick. But the way that I did that is I would kind of nag myself constantly. I'd tell myself I didn't deserve to rest or eat or whatever until I got just a little bit more done. And while it was kind of effective, it's a little toxic, and I'm trying to actively unlearn that now. Rest is productive. You don't have to earn it. So when motivation dips, which it does for us all, I try to check in and ask, like, do I actually want to do this thing? Or is it time to maybe figure out a way to let that go? Most of the time is yes, I do want to do that thing. I still want to do Budget Girl, just maybe not today. And that's okay. There will be the days when I want to do that. Like today, hi. And that's why I have fewer videos now. I could force myself to do weekly uploads, but I'm also trying to live a full life and find that balance that everyone is looking for so much. Lately, I've been trying to make videos that I'm really passionate and excited about, and that's whether or not they're gonna perform on YouTube. For instance, the Little Free Library video that I did recently, where I made over 2 new Little Free Libraries for my community. I love doing that. It took several weeks, and I loved every second, and I love the video and how it turned out. And it has been up for a few days now and doesn't even have 1,000 views, and that's okay. It'll hopefully find the audience that is looking for that, and my regular viewership will hopefully hang out while I do some of these fun, more volunteer-y, community-serving projects, because I have the money to be able to do that now, to build this life that I really love. I wish I had a secret sauce that I could share to you for motivation. A big part of it is I don't have kids that I have to chase around. Yeah, I've got the 40-hour-a-week work week. I have my rentals, etc. But other than these stupid little dogs, who, yes, do run us a little ragged, I have my free time. My partner is a fully competent person that I don't have to take care of. And we take care of each other, but I have my off work time to do what I want and rest, which is nice. Some days I crush it. Some days I barely make it through. Both count. The main thing is that I try to tell myself, every day I might not be moving forward, but every year I am. I have intentional goals that I'm trying to reach, and being kind to myself is actually going to get me further, not slow me down. Next, similarly, how do I balance working between full-time jobs, having a side hustle, and managing my rentals? So the day job comes first, always. If life is a juggling act and some of the balls are glass and some are plastic and you drop one, you better make sure it's the plastic one. My full-time job provides me the most steady income and benefits, and very luckily it doesn't usually spill out of the 40-hour work week. I don't have to take it home. I very rarely have to work overtime, and that's a huge blessing. Budget Girl gets done on lunch breaks, weekends, nights sometimes, but it's the very first thing that I pause if I am sick, if I'm overwhelmed, if I need to rest, and that's just the reality. I could ramp it up. It's been ramped up before. I could churn out more videos. I could chase sponsors. I could develop stuff to sell to you guys, but thanks to my job, I don't have to. And I was never interested in really turning BG into, a full-time empire. Sponsorships especially can be a headache because I'm not really interested in selling you something unless it's gonna save you time, save your money, improve your life. And those sponsors are not usually the ones that are inquiring with me. They want to take your money. Those opportunities are rare. And so I wait for sponsorships that are something that I really believe in. And that means not a lot of money for me. And that's fine. I can afford to do that. I'm sure y'all don't mind because fewer ads for you to see, right? For my rentals, I front load things, so it runs a lot more smoothly. When I turn over a unit, when I hand over the keys, that unit is perfect. I have checked everything. Everything is in perfect working condition. The upgrades that are necessary that have been made, nothing is cobbled together. I make sure that the tenants have nothing to worry about. So when I get called, it's because something legitimately broke or an emergency happens. And that's dealt with like any emergency. You deal with the situation like you would in your own house. If I can't get to it, then I have a contractor, Ryan, who I can send out to take care of that problem. Now, most things I can generally take care of myself. If something breaks accidentally, I can go fix it, which I'll do after work, or if I really need to, I'll use some personal time and go off of work to do it. But if it's out of my depth, then I can hire that out, which is what a lot of property owners do, is they have a subcontractor to do things, or they even offload management entirely. I do the property managing myself. I fix minor things. I contract out the people. I do pest control. I hire out lawn, etc. But it actually doesn't take that much time unless all of a sudden something goes wrong. It's kind of like when you didn't know you were on call for a job on a Saturday and you get called in. I don't know why I remember this from when I was working in restaurants and stuff like that. But you could enjoy your day until all of a sudden you get called in, versus if you knew you were on call and just kind of dreading, waiting to see if they were going to call. The rentals, because I've set them up the way they are, generally they're going to run smoothly. I only have to jump in, all of a sudden something comes up. They aren't a huge time suck unless something goes wrong. Now, that wasn't the case with the Ag Wagon, which was my short-term rental travel trailer that I used to rent out on Airbnb and Vrbo. That took a ton of time on the day-to-day, managing the bookings, doing customer service, dispatching cleaners, setting rates, everything like that, advertising it. That was a lot more work than the long-term rentals that I have now. So big difference there, and I don't miss that aspect of having the Airbnb at all. It was adorable. It was so cute. I loved it, but running it as an Airbnb was a lot of time. So yeah, the balance comes down to just having the priorities, having systems in place for when something happens, and when to say, not right now. Okay, that's all the questions I have for today. Feel free to put any below if you would like me to answer. Let me know if you like this more new format for Q&A videos. Thank you for spending part of your time today with me. It means a lot. Thank you so much for being here and watching all the way till the end. I'm honored, honestly, and I hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.